Marley was dead, to begin with. There is no doubt whatever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the creaky doorman. Scrooge signed it. Old Marley was dead as a doornail. A creaky doornail. Scrooge knew he was dead? Of course he did. How could it be otherwise? Scrooge and he were partners for I don't know how many years. Scrooge was his sole executor, his sole friend and sole mourner. And even Scrooge was not so dreadfully cut up by the sad event. Scrooge never painted out old Marley's name. There it stood, years afterwards, above the door, Scrooge and Marley. Oh, but he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, Scrooge. A squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. Hard and sharp as flint, from which no steel had ever struck out generous fire. Secret and self-contained, as solitary as an oyster.
Bah, humbug! I'm paying too bloody much for this bloody narrator git to blabber on about how miserly I am. Charles Dickens more like Charles Dickhead.
The cold within him froze his old features, nipped his pointed nipples, shriveled his butt cheeks, stiffened his scrotum, and shrunk his schlong. Made his eyes red.
Legalize it.
External heat and cold had little influence on Scrooge. No warmth could warm, no wintry weather chill him. No wind that blew was bitterer than he. Basically, he was like a total dick. But what did Scrooge care? It was the very thing he liked. To edge his way along the crowded paths of life, warning all human sympathy to keep its distance. Once upon a time, on Christmas Eve.
About bloody time.
Get fucked, Scrooge.
Oh, you get fucked, god blimey. I'm about to hold rocker, you snot sock, you moist bint. Get on with it.
Once upon a time, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy at the piss and shit factory. It was cold, bleak, and biting weather.
Yes, this is all coming along splendidly. Piss is up, but shit is down this blasted market.
The door of Scrooge's office was open, that he might keep his eye upon the blue-collar clerk, Bob Cratchit, who was in a dismal little cell beyond, copying letters.
Okay, that's 2 shits, carry the piss, minus 3 queefs.
Just then, Scrooge's nephew, Fred, called upon the counting house door and greeted old Scrooge.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Bah, humbug.
Christmas, humbug, Uncle? What the hell does that even mean? You don't mean that.
I do. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? What reason have you to be merry? You're poor and your penis is small.
What right have you to be dismal? What reason have you to be a salty bitch? You're rich and your penis is average.
Bah, humbug.
Don't be mad, bro.
What else can I be when I live in such a world of fools as this? Merry Christmas. What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money? A time for finding yourself a year older but not an hour richer? If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart, he should.
Uncle, this is a wild response to Christmas cheer. It's disturbing how violent it is.
Nephew, keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
But you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone then. Much good it may do you. How much good has Christmas ever done you?
It has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, but it has done me good and will do me good. God bless Christmas.
Hell yeah, dude. You rock, dude.
You rock and roll.
Humbug. Let me hear another sound from you, Cratchit, and you'll keep Christmas by spending the next year on the pissing floor. As for you, nephew, you are quite a powerful speaker. I wonder why you don't go join those clowns in Parliament.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come dine with us tomorrow.
Get fucked.
Why can't we be friends?
Good afternoon.
Fine, dude. Be pissed, but I'm keeping my Christmas humour. So Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year.
Good afternoon.
His nephew left the room without an angry word. He stopped at the outer door to bestow the greetings of the season upon Bob Cratchit, who, cold as he was warmer than Scrooge.
Merry Christmas, you son of a bitch.
Happy New Year, you jolly cunt. It's okay, we say that in London.
This lunatic, Bob Cratchit, in letting Scrooge's nephew out, had let another person in. He was a portly gentleman, pleasant to behold, and now stood with his hat off in Scrooge's office.
Is this Scrooge and Marley's Piss and Shit Factory? Do I have the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead these 7 years. He died 7 years ago this very night.
Well, surely you carry on his legacy of generosity. At this festive time of year, we try to make provisions for the poor and destitute who suffer greatly at this time. Do you know that the top 1% have over 90% of the milk? And that the top 1% of that top 1% has 90% of the milk? After you take Santa's cut, that leaves 99% without milk or cookies. Mr. Scrooge, this is unacceptable.
Are there no prisons?
Plenty of prisons. If you have 7 hours, I could lay out my plan to abolish the prison system.
And the union workhouses, are they still operational?
They are, but they are basically modern slave institutions.
So the prison industrial complex is still running strong and busy?
Very busy, sir.
I'm very glad to hear it.
Well, that is about the worst take I've ever heard. You see, Mr. Scrooge, at this Christian time of year, we try to raise funds to buy the poor some meat and drink. And what shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
Oh, well, do you wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be left alone.
Obviously.
And I can't afford to make idle people merry neither. I'll help support the establishments I've mentioned. They cost enough. Those who are badly off must go there.
Many can't go there, and many would rather die.
If they would rather die, they are better to do it and decrease the surplus population.
Alright, now you're just sounding ridiculous. I'm going to take my leave of you before I stick the top 1% of my penny loafer right up the bottom 90% of your tight little ass.
The charitable man took his leave of the Piss and Shit Factory. Soon it was time to close for the evening, and Bob Cratchit timidly petitioned old Scrooge.
Sir?
You'll want all day tomorrow, I suppose.
If it is quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient and it's not fair. If I was to dock your pay, you'd think yourself ill-used, I bet. And yet you don't think me ill-used when I'll pay you a day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year.
A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose if you must have the whole day, be here all the earlier next morning.
I promise I will, sir.
Scrooge left with a growl. Scrooge walked home through the dreary London streets. He approached his dismal dark flat, put the key in the door. Just as he did, he saw in the knocker, not a knocker, but Marley's face.
Scrooge!
God blimey!
Marley's face. It had a dismal light about it, like a bad lobster in a dark cellar. In the blink of an eye, it morphed again, becoming two round and bulbous orbs, white as ghosts and covered with coarse, wiry hairs.
Oh, is that what I think it is?
Then the astral vision... Astral. It's an ass. The astral vision was gone, and the knocker was a knocker again. He put his hand upon the key, turned it sturdily, walked in, and lighted his candle. He did pause with a second thought before he shut the door, and he did look cautiously behind at first, as if he half expected to be terrified with the sight of Marley's hairy ass and balls sticking out into the hall. But there was nothing on the back of the door. He closed the door with a bang. Up he went to his quarters with his solitary candle. Darkness is cheap, and Scrooge liked it. He took off his cravat, whatever he put on his dressing gown and slippers and his nightcap, and sat down before the fire to take his gruel and smoketh upon his Chiba pipe.
Legalize it.
It was a very low fire indeed, nothing on such a bitter night. His glance happened to rest upon a disused bell that hung in the corner of the room. It was with great astonishment and with a strange, inexplicable dread that as he looked, he saw the bell begin to swing. It swung so softly on the outset that it scarcely made a sound, but soon it rang out loudly, and so did every bell in the house.
Humbug.
The bells ceased, and they were succeeded by a clanking noise deep down below, as if some person were dragging a heavy chain. Scrooge then remembered to have heard that ghosts in haunted houses were described as dragging chains. Suddenly, the cellar door flew open with a booming sound. And he heard the noise much louder on the floor below, then coming up the stairs, then coming straight towards his door.
It's a humbug still. I won't believe it, I won't.
His color changed, though, when, without a pause, it came on through the heavy door and passed into the room before his eyes. The same face. Marley in his pigtail, usual waistcoat, tights, and boots. He had a wrap of linen around his jaw and tied at the top of his head. The chain he drew was clasped about his middle. It was long and wound about him like a tail, and it was made of cash boxes, keys, padlocks, ledgers, deeds, and heavy purses wrought in steel. His body was transparent. Though he looked the phantom through and through, he was still incredulous and fought against his senses.
How now, you ghostly wanker? What do you want with me?
Much, sir.
Who are you?
Ask me, sir, who Misa was.
Who were you then?
In life, Misa was your partner, Jacob Marley.
God blimey, I feel like I would have recognised that, would have known that. Can you sit down?
Misa can, sir.
Do it then.
Okay, sitting down now. You, sir, don't believe in me, sir.
I don't.
Why do you, sir, doubt your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheats. You may be an undigested bit of beef, a blot of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of underdone potato. There's more of gravy than of grave about you, whatever you are. You see this fat doobie?
Me, sir, do.
Well, I have but to smoke this fatty down to the face, and be for the rest of my days persecuted by a legion of goblins, all of my own creation. Humbug! Humbug, I tell you!
Pass that shit over here, man!
I always used to smoke you up, and you never brought any to match. Not tonight, Morley.
Come on, man! Don't be a bitch, sir! Papa passa!
Get fucked, dude.
At this, the spirit raised a frightful cry and shook its chain with such a dismal and appalling noise that Scrooge held on tight to his chair to save himself from falling in a swoon. But how much greater was his horror when the phantom, taking off the bandage around its head, its lower jaw dropped down upon its breast.
Look, sir, this a fucked up shit!
Scrooge fell upon his knees and clasped his hands before his face.
Mercy, dreadful apparition, why do you trouble me?
Do you, sir, believe in me, sir, or not?
I do.
Then pass that stanky shit, sir, over here and let me, sir, blast off.
Here, mate. Why do spirits walk the earth, and why do they come to me?
It is required of every man. The spirit within him, sir, should walk abroad. It is required of every man. The spirit within him, sir, should walk abroad among his fellow men and travel far and wide.
You are fettered. Tell me why.
Me, sir, wear the chain from me, sir, forging me life. Missa made it link by link, and Missa ordered it on Missa on free will.
Jacob, old Jacob, tell me more. Speak comfort to me, Jacob.
Missa have none to give. It comes from other regions, Ebenezer Scrooge.
I guess this means that there is an afterlife. If you look at the bright side, I mean, who's giving you your marching orders?
Satan himself, you dumb sucker.
Is Satan scary, Jacob?
Of course he's scary, you stupid git. He's the prince of darkness, and he's got nasty scales and long fingers, and he's make us watch him sing karaoke every Thursday night. It's horrible.
I don't understand. You are always such a good man of business, Jacob.
Business?
Okay, hold on.
Business? Mankind was Missa business. The common welfare was Missa business. Charity, mercy, forbearance, and the dealings of Missa trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of Missa business. At this time of the rolling year, Missa suffer mossa. Here, Missa time is nearly gone.
I will, but pray don't be hard upon me, Jacob.
How is it that Missa appear before you, sir, in a shape that you, sir, can see? Missa may have not tell. Missa sat invisible beside you, sir, many a day.
Really? Well, that's kind of weird, isn't it? Like how many days were you sitting next to me?
Many and many.
And you're able to see like everything I do?
Everything you, sir, do.
Yikes, that's kind of embarrassing.
You, sir, have to stop a jack off to hentai, man.
Oh, come on, man. Don't kink shame me.
It's really gross.
Yikes. That ain't... Oh, God. Well, you just... From
Missa don't even know, sir, how you get that in 18th century England.
I'll get it from this shop down in the corner, this house of ill repute. Why don't you follow me down there? Why don't you follow me when I'm doing my fun stuff, like, I don't know, taking my evening walks?
You, sir, big dick, sir.
Well, thank you, Jacob.
No, you, sir, are a big dick, sir.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was going to say my dick is average, according to Fred Scrooge, but...
All right, I think you were going to say... You, sir, were going to say something else.
You're always a good friend to me. Thank you.
You, sir, will be hunted by 3 spirits.
Oh, what the... Is that the chance and hope you mentioned, Jacob?
It's ease.
Well, I think I'd rather not.
You, sir, have no choice. Missa slip something into your groove before you, sir, get home. You, sir, are going to trip balls tonight. Without their visits... You, sir, cannot hope to shun the path Missa trade. Expect the first at the toll of 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Expect the second at the stroke of 2. And the third...
At the stroke of 3?
Dude, that was like Missa bit closer. You, sir, totally stepped on it.
Oh, sorry about that.
It's okay. It's just that Missa only get a couple of these cool hunting assignments a year, and it's nice to end on a high note. You sir know. Leave them wanting more.
I really am sorry. Do you want to take the line again, or...
No, it wouldn't feel right.
This is weird.
Shut up, dude!
Oh, fuck off, mate.
More like Charles dickhead.
Oh, no, right? That guy's a fucking loser. He's an arsehole.
Okay, that's gonna do it for Missa. Look to see Missa no more. And look, that for you, sir, on sake. You, sir, remember what has passed between us, sir.
Oi. You're beginning to dissipate into ghostly wisps with my joint, dude. Not cool.
Missa, get you back next time, dog!
Oh, come on, man.
He tried to say humbug, but stopped at the first syllable. And being from the emotion he had undergone, or the fatigues of the day, or the lateness of the hour, much in need of repose, Scrooge went straight to bed without undressing, and fell asleep upon the instant. When Scrooge awoke, it was so dark that, looking out of bed, he was trying to pierce the darkness with his ferret eyes. A neighboring church struck its bells, so he listened for the hour.
Why, it isn't possible that I can have slept through a whole day.
The curtains of his bed were drawn aside, and he found himself face to face with the unearthly visitor who drew them. As close to it as I am to you now, and I am standing in the spirit at your elbow. Boo! Just kidding. But I have haunted you many and many a day, and I have seen everything. But anyways, the unearthly figure spoke.
Sup?
It was a strange figure, like a child, yet not so like a child as like an old man. Its hair, which hung about its neck and down its back, was white as if with age, and yet the face had not a wrinkle in it, and the tenderest bloom was on the skin. It wore a tunic of the purest white, and held a branch of fresh green mistletoe.
Legalize it.
It immediately began kissing Scrooge.
Oh, what the hell?
It's mistletoe. We have to.
Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold to me, sir?
I am!
Who and what are you?
I'm the ghost of Christmas past, baby! I'm motherfucking ghost of Christmas past, dude! Let's go! I am the ghost of Christmas past. I'm the ghost of Christmas past!
Like the long past? Like just the past of the world?
No, your past, dummy. What do you think?
What business brought you here?
Your welfare!
I think the best welfare would be a nice wank and a full night of sleep, don't you?
Your redemption, then. Take heed. Rise and walk with me.
The spirit touched Scrooge. The grasp, though gentle as a woman's hand, was not to be resisted. He rose, and the spirit took him toward the window.
Mr. Ghost, I am immortal. I'll fall.
Give me a smooch upon my lips, and you shall be upheld, and more than this.
As their lips touched, they passed through the wall and stood upon an open country road.
Good heaven, I was bred in this place. I was a boy here.
Your lip is trembling. And what is that upon your cheek?
It's just a pimple. Lead me where you will, spirit.
You recollect the way?
Remember it? I would walk it blindfolded, I would.
Strange to have forgotten it for so many years. Let us go on.
Why, it's my old schoolhouse.
The school is not quite deserted. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, is left there still.
Oh no.
The spirit touched him on the arm and pointed to his younger self, intent upon his reading.
Poor, tight little boy. I wish, but it's too late now.
What's the matter?
Nothing.
Let us see another Christmas. Do you know this place?
Now they stood outside a storefront.
Know it. I was apprenticed here, I was.
They went in. At sight of the old gentleman in a Welsh wig, sitting behind a high desk, Scrooge cried in great excitement.
Why, it's old Fezziwig. Bless his heart, it's old Fezziwig alive and well again.
Old Fezziwig laid down his pen and looked up at the clock, which pointed to the hour of 7. He rubbed his hands, adjusted his capacious waistcoat, and called out in a comfortable, oily, rich, fat, jovial voice.
Yo-ho there, Ebenezer. No more work tonight. Christmas Eve, Ebenezer. Let us have the shutters up before man can say Jack Robinson. Hilly-ho, clear away, my lad, and let's have lots of room here. Hilly-ho, cheer up, Ebenezer.
A party ensued.
Oh, welcome to our
How's the British massage parlor? Okay, you guys are very large, hairy men. Look at that.
A small matter to make these silly folks so full of gratitude.
Small?
Why is it not? He has spent but a few pounds of your mortal money. Is that so much that he deserves this praise?
It isn't that, spirit. He has the power to render us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or burdensome, a pleasure or a toil. The happiness he gives is quite as great as if it cost a fortune.
What's the matter?
Nothing particular.
Something, I think.
No. I should like to be able to say a word or two to my blue-collar clerk just now, that's all.
My time grows short. Quick!
What?
He sat next to a fair young girl in whose eyes shone tears. It matters little, very little. Another idol has displaced me.
Another idol?
A golden one. I have seen your nobler aspirations fall off one by one until the master passion, gain, engrosses you. Am I not?
What then? Even if I have grown so much wiser, what then? I am not changed towards you, am I? I still goeth down upon thee every fortnight or two, right?
That's pretty good when that happened. But anyway, our contract is an old one. It was made when we were both poor and content to be so, until in good season we could improve our worldly fortune. You are changed. When it was made, you were another man.
I was a boy, but a tight little boy who could just go round after round.
Yeah, you look like a young Greek statue, but your old feeling tells you that you were not what you are. I am.
Have I ever sought release?
In words? No. Never.
In what then?
In a changed nature. In an altered spirit. In another atmosphere of life. If this had never been between us, tell me, would you seek me out and try to win me now? May you be happy in the life you have chosen.
Spirit, show me no more. Conduct me home. Why do you delight to torture me? No more, I don't wish to see it no more. Remove me, I cannot bear it.
He was conscious of being exhausted and overcome by an irresistible drowsiness. He sank into a heavy sleep. Awakening in the middle of a prodigiously tough snore and sitting up in bed to get his thoughts together, Scrooge had no occasion to be told that the bell was again upon the stroke of 1. He got up and softly shuffled in his slippers to the door. The moment Scrooge's hands was on the lock, a strange voice called him by his name and bade him enter. He obeyed. Heaped up on the floor to form a kind of throne were turkeys, geese, game, poultry, suckling pigs, plum puddings, and barrels of oysters, juicy oranges, and giant bowls of punch.
Come in and know me better, man. I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me.
So Scrooge did so. It was clothed in one simple green robe bordered with white fur. This garment hung so loosely on the figure that its capacious breast was bare. Its dark brown curls were long and free.
You have never seen the like of me before.
Right, never.
What old the Beatles? Shut up, Ringo. Have you never walked forth with the younger members of my family?
I'm afraid I have not. Have you had many brothers, Spirit?
More than 1,800.
God blimey. A tremendous family to provide for. Spirit, conduct me where you will.
Touch my robe. And why don't you put one of these in your mouth? Oh, yeah.
They stood in the city streets on Christmas morning. They went on, invisible, as they had been before. Into the suburbs of the town, they came upon the Cratchit's home. Mrs. Cratchit then spoke.
And how did little Tim behave at church?
As good as gold and better. He told me, coming home, that he hoped the people saw him in church because he was a cripple, and it might be pleasant to them to remember upon Christmas Day who made lame beggars walk and blind men see. Merry Christmas! A Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us.
God bless us, everyone. Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
Oh no, he's a goner man. Yes, he's definitely going to die. I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, none other of my race will find him here.
No, kind spirit, say he will be spared.
No, he's like pretty much gonna die. Yeah, like we said, he's a goner man.
Imagine a world where there's no little crippled boys and no God.
Bob Cratchit raises his glass with a toast.
I'll give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and I hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children, it's Christmas Day.
Oh, fuck off the children. It should be Christmas Day. I'm sure on which one drinks the health of such an odious, stingy, hard, ugly, small-dicked, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Robert. Nobody knows it better than you do, poor fellow.
Well, I mean, canonically, we'd already established that he has an average penis, but, my dear, Christmas Day.
I'll drink his health for your sake in the days, not for his. Long life to him, small penis to him. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt.
And now, without a word of warning from the ghost, they stood upon the living room floor of his nephew, Fred, and his wife.
He said that Christmas was a humbug as I live. He believed it too.
My shame for him.
He's a comical old fellow. That's the truth, and not so pleasant as he might be. However, his offences carry their own punishment, and I have nothing to say against him.
I'm sure he is very rich. At least you always tell me so.
What of that, my dear? His wealth is of no use to him. He don't do any good with it. He don't make himself comfortable with it.
I have no patience with him.
Oh, I have. I'm sorry for it. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the old man wherever he is. He wouldn't take it from me, but may he have it. Nevertheless, Uncle Scrooge.
It was strange, too, that while Scrooge remained unaltered in his outward form, the ghost grew older, clearly older.
Our spirits lie. Our spirits' lives so short.
My life upon this globe is very brief. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
It ends tonight.
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 Tonight, at midnight. Hark, the time is drawing near.
Scrooge looked about him for the ghost and saw it not. At last the stroke ceased to vibrate. He remembered the prediction of old Jacob Marley, and lifting up his eyes, beheld a solemn phantom, draped and hooded, coming like the mist along the ground towards him. It was shrouded in a deep black garment which concealed its head, its face, its form. The mysterious presence filled him with a solemn dread. It neither spoke nor moved.
I am in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You are about to show me shadows of the things that haven't all happened, but will happen the time before us. Is that so, Spirit?
Yeah, dude.
Ghost of the future, I fear you more than any spectre I have seen. Lead on, Spirit.
All right, dude. Chill. Let's go.
The phantom moved away as it had come toward him. It carried him along. The ghost conducted him through several streets familiar to his feet, and they went along. They entered poor Bob Cratchit's very quiet house.
He was very light to carry, and his father loved him so that it was no trouble at all.
Yes, my dear. I visited the grave today. I wish you could have gone. It would have done you good to see how green a place it is.
Legalize it.
Don't criticize it.
Legalize it. But you'll see it often. I promised him that I would walk there on a Sunday. My little child.
God blimey, take me away from this horrible scene. Let me behold what is to come of me.
All right, I'll show you. Check out this super spooky graveyard.
Before I draw nearer to that stone to which you point, answer me one question. Are these shadows of the things that will be, or are they shadows of the things that may be only?
Oh, you know, maybe a little bit of both.
Scrooge crept toward the gravestone, trembling as he went, and read upon the stone of the neglected grave his own name, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Am I that man? No, Spirit, no. Spirit, hear me. I am not the man I was. Why show me this if I am past all hope? I will honour Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. I'm light as a feather, stiff as a board, I am.
Searching for light as a feather, stiff as a board.
No, God blimey, gee. I'm light as a feather and stiff as a board. I am happy as an angel. I am as merry as a tight little schoolboy. I am as giddy as a drunken man, as high as I ever have been. A Merry Christmas to everybody, a Happy New Year to all the world. Hello there, whoop, hello. There's the saucepan with the gruel and the acid in it. There's the door by which the ghost of Jacob Marley entered. There's the corner where the ghost of Christmas presents sat. It's all right, it's all true.
Sorry, I don't see any results for ha ha ha.
Really, for a man who had been out of practice for so many years, it was a splendid laugh, and a most illustrious laugh.
I don't know how long I've been among the spirits. I don't know anything. Hello there, what's today?
Scrooge called down to a boy in the street in his Sunday clothes.
Hey,
What's today, my fine fellow?
today? Why, Christmas Day.
It's Christmas Day, I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. They can do anything they like, of course they can. Hello, my fine young fellow.
Yeah, hello, I'm still here.
Do you know the grocer on the next street over?
I should hope I did.
An intelligent boy, a remarkable boy, a tight young little boy.
What's that?
Do you know do you know if they've sold a prize turkey in a window?
The one as big as me?
Well, what a delightful, tight little boy. Yes, the one as big as you.
It's hanging there now.
Go and buy it.
Fuck off!
Oh, you fuck off. No, I'm in earnest. Go and buy it and tell him to bring it here. Come back with the man and I'll give you a shilling. Come back with him in less than 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown. Less than 3 minutes and I'll suck your dick.
Right, oh, what a non-problematic thing to say in our time.
Oh, it's Dickinsonian times. The rules of consent were different.
Dick in son. Dickinson.
That's what it means. That's
All
what
right, well, I guess, okay.
I'll send a turkey to Bob Cratchit.
He dressed himself in his Sunday best and at last got out into the street and sent the turkey along. He had not gone far when, coming on towards him, he had beheld the portly gentleman who had come into the piss and shit factory the day before looking for donations.
How do you do? I hope you succeeded yesterday. It was very kind of you. A Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Mr. Scrooge?
Yes, that is my name, and I fear it may not be pleasant to you. Allow me to ask your pardon, and will you have the goodness to accept my donation of shit and piss on this lovely Christmas morn?
Lord, bless me.
And not a farting less. A great many back payments are included in it.
My dear sir, of course.
Don't say anything, please. Just come and see me.
Anything you want, Scrooge, I will. I love you. I fucking love you, Scrooge. I'm also Bernie Sanders and I want to kiss. I want to kiss you, Scrooge, right on the lips.
Oh, thank you 50 times. Bless you.
He turned his steps toward his nephew's house. He passed the door a dozen times before he had the courage to go up and knock.
Fred?
Why, bless my soul, who's that?
It is I, your Uncle Scrooge. I have come to dinner. Will you let me in, Fred?
Hell yeah, bro.
They partied all night long.
Should have showered, I'm sorry.
Scrooge was in the office early the next day waiting for Bob Cratchit.
Hello, you're late, Bob Cratchit.
I am very sorry, sir. I am behind my time.
You are. Yes, I think you are. Step this way, please.
It's only once a year, sir. It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday.
I too am hungover as shit, my guy. I have to tell you, though, that I'm not going to stand for anything of this sort any longer. And therefore, Bob Cratchit, I am about to raise your salary. Merry Christmas, Bob. I'll raise your salary and endeavor to assist your struggling family, even that little crippled one, Tiny Tim.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a friend as ever was. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone. We Cool Podcast presents A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickhead Dickens, featuring Grant Winkles, Tommy Baird, Ryan Call, and country music legend Chris Maddox, who has an album out called Country Music Legend that you should buy for Christmas for everyone you like and dislike. And Merry Christmas to all.
Also, Grant Winkles, Tommy Bear, Chris Maddox. I have been Jar Jar Binks, and this has been the We Cool Podcast. Thank you.